What's good, you guys, and welcome back to the DJ's Take.
I'm Donnie.
And I'm James, and on this show, we talk about the music industry from a fan's point of view. Donnie, what are we talking about today?
Today we are going to be discussing Chris Brown and the resurgence of his career. So let's talk about it.
All right, so I guess, is he truly canceled? What's his road to redemption? And I guess more of that.
No, he is not canceled. He is flourishing probably more than he's ever flourished before. And we have to start with the Grammy. The Grammy basically set him up for a wonderful year this year. And that album, 1111, man, I told people it was one of my favorite albums. I was like, man, of that year, I said it was just a great album. Very well produced, very well written. It was fire, you know? And then it was acknowledged by the Grammys by winning R&B Album of the Year.
And it's just been announced that he had his stadium tour sold out. You know, like he is performing in some big stadiums like Allegiant and Las Vegas, which that's the one I'm going to be attending. And it's just he's back, man. Like, so I guess my opinion on the matter is I think it's who you ask. I think he's definitely canceled in regards to certain demos, and as far as like mainstream, just recently AMA's pull out from his performance with that. He still gets
after getting a Grammy grace and them saying he needs to be forgiven, it's his time, he is this talented, I think everybody else is going to follow suit. So that's the thing when it comes to him performing. Like, I think this stadium, the Breezy Bowl, really set it off. The Breezy Bowl in Africa and Brazil, it was just like, wow. In another country, they sold out 60,000 people. And everybody seeing that, I think people were like, oh, wow, like, he is that good. It just pushed an image of how amazing he is as an artist and as a performer. So I think it forced people here to have to really take a look into it. And then on top of that, we can't forget Residuals is charting on the Billboard. So that also was like the first part of it. So a lot of that credit goes to his 1111 tour when it comes to the song Residuals. So
we just have to decide, are we gonna cancel everyone for the acts that he's done, or are we not? Because we're not canceling everyone in the same way that people are canceling him. And I kind of always say with you, I think it's because other people have done the Remorse tour, and he hasn't done that since then. He just created like a list for himself, and that's the issue that I think people have. Is it's not the incident, which obviously that is the biggest reason, but he has now a record of like bad behavior.
Well, let's be real with it, as if anything would be. And I want to say David Banner was actually talking about it, and they were like, they took this 18-year-old kid and threw him in the gutter.
They did.
Like, no grace for him. Was offered to come on Good Morning America with Robin Williams. Was that who it was?
Robin Roberts. And they told him, hey, we won't talk about this, and they'll talk about that, and then talked about it to an 18-year-old kid. So we have to look at that. He was a kid, man. How many of us messed up as kids? 18. I know I wasn't peachy keen at 18, 19. I just wasn't doing to this extent to the things that he did. But at the same time, like you said, there's so many other people who are doing things like that and are not being held towards the fire. Let's just be real. He's got to be held accountable, though, and I know you think that too, and that he has, but he has to. You do have to eat those punches for years. Like, I really think if he would have ate those punches for years to come, this is what, no pun intended, wow, no pun intended, you have to like be humble and know that for years it is a stain. When you do something that egregious, you do have to just catch these.
And that's when it comes to the point in having a man in your life or positive people, you know, to tell you that and to be there to mentor you on that. The mentors that he had was Diddy. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, It doesn't help when you got another ego person, or even Kanye. Oh, it don't matter, Chris. You're so far up there when it comes to your talent, blah, blah, blah. So he didn't have the right people around him to mentor him and get him out of that situation, and teach him how, hey, this is how you got to move.
I would want to know,
instead of going towards the bad boy way, let's just clean your image up. And I think that's the problem.
I do want to know what his team is. Like, I would love to know who is on Chris Brown's teams, what they're doing, and are they really like helping him out?
I'll notoriously say Chris Brown, if he has a team, they're probably the worst team in history. And I don't want to say that disrespectfully, but I mean it respectfully. They just don't do enough for him, in my opinion. They don't help reel him in. He don't have I feel as if he has too many yes men and not enough people that are willing to say, hey, that's not it.
Yeah.
We need to move this way. Hey, you need to do this. Hey, you need to do that.
And just dropping the ball with things like, how is there, maybe the night is still young, maybe there is a tour movie coming on after the stadium Breezy Bowl, but how is there no footage of him doing the Breezy Bowl in Africa? That should have been.
There was footage. If you go on his Instagram, it shows like him performing.
I'm saying like it needs to be on YouTube.
You wanted to be
I want to watch it from top to bottom.
So,
yeah. And if Netflix won't buy it, put it on breezy.com.
Let's think about this, though. He's probably going to go on this stadium tour, and that's probably going to be the release. And honestly, I'm going to say, and we can quote me saying it, 5 years, Breezy will be doing the Super Bowl. I believe that this, if he stays out of trouble, but I believe in 5 years, we have Chris Brown doing the Super Bowl. I think it's just apparent this is his Super Bowl run. I think people are going to have to respect it. And I believe whenever this footage comes out on TikTok and it's out there, boom. And the reason why I said he wasn't canceled, for James, and the reason why he's doing better, and honestly, people, why I think he's doing better is Chris Brown is so much talented than everybody else that he's still able to stay relevant. And he was able to stay relevant through all the turmoil and the bad times, that we're at a new generation of these TikTokers that they don't know. They don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were too young. We know because we were in middle school. But what about the 8th graders? I mean, the 5th graders, the 4th graders, the 3rd. They don't know that. All they know is Chris Brown. You feel me?
I will say, though, social media loves to remind you, though. Like even, I know you see it, even when it's something has nothing to do with Chris Brown, like it'll be like, this random athlete attacked someone. Chris Brown's trending because they're talking about, they're like, he's there just like Chris Brown.
Yeah, but that's all the bitter old 30-year-olds still at it. You feel me? It's not people like Zeke and Zach's age. You get what I'm saying? Are young. It's not people like my son's age. They don't know that part of Chris Brown. So this is a whole new new wave of fans that's going to keep him in the game even longer, because he continues to find himself, not in the radio ways, because we know the radios. We know you canceled him. We know you won't play his music, but because of social media and TikTok.
I wouldn't even say that. Chris is probably, and I heard Charlamagne from the Breakfast Club say this, he's probably one of the biggest impacts on urban radio. Like, urban radio is playing.
Yeah, but he needs to be on pop radio. He needs to be everywhere.
You will go high on the Hot 100.
You will go on the urban radio.
Record.
But you're telling me that residuals shouldn't be higher than some of the songs that we hear? Under the Influence shouldn't have been on the major radios playing? No Guidance should have been on the main radios playing? Heat? You get what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about think about him at his prime, James. When Show Me Something. You remind me of something. I don't know what. Imagine if those songs.
What was Chris's last crossover record?
Crossover? What do you mean?
What was his last mainstream record?
Little Dicky, Freaky Friday.
That's what I think.
Well, Under the Influence kind of was. It hit high up there. It hit like 14, 15s in the Billboard, I want to say.
I wouldn't consider that mainstream record. Like, it did. It was successful.
Okay, then it was. Oh, no. Go Crazy might have went up there.
Go Crazy. His song with Drake.
Yeah, he had a bunch, but it's like they wouldn't give it the airtime it deserved.
Yeah.
I'm talking about some of the stuff that Chris Brown did deserved to be played like an espresso. That's how good it was.
Yeah.
You know, so like
almost everything from the Breezy album.
Yeah. So it's crazy to me that the Breezy album got no shine at all, no pop. And then you get one that's like 11-11 and bam.
Lastly, what would you say though? Like if me and you, we always do this. If we were Chris Brown's management team, what would we tell him to do? And if he would follow it, what would we have him to do to try to get the road to the Super Bowl mainstream events?
Honestly, at this point, he's doing everything he's doing right. Just keep your head out of trouble. That's all. That's all the advice I can give him. That's all he can do. What I would say is to continue to keep doing things with like Kai Cenat and them, Drewski, just because that's the smart thing about Chris Brown. Chris Brown found that young audience with the streaming, the twitching with Kai Cenat, and Drewski. He had Drewski come on tour with him, you know what I'm saying? And it's able to broaden his audience up. So I think he's doing wonderful moves. I think he's doing really good moves, and his team, I don't think he planned on this, honestly.
I honestly
think he's just so talented it happened.
I think so too. He's a beyond talented. Like that's the biggest thing here is he is one of, if not the most talented people like of all time. And but I think I would say Chris Brown, if you remember, his personality was so good. He has a very funny, kind of quirky personality. Yeah. So I would say don't be boxed up. Do interviews, and yeah, there's going to be weird things. Learn the finesse of interviewing and how to get through questions.
Don't always get so angry.
Yeah, be calm and tempered, and really just let your personality sell yourself. And I would say do more charitable things for urban kids with no dads, and teach them your story. And really, I think that's the path up to that. Like be authentic, show your story, and that's the path. And definitely, please stay out of trouble.
And let's just talk about the elephant in the room, James. You saying that Usher is bigger than Chris Brown.
I didn't say bigger. Did I ever say bigger?
I don't know. You were just talking crazy.
I still think that he has a better catalog, higher sales.
You can say catalog. I don't care about none of that. I want you to say it out your. Who is the biggest artist today? You said Chris Brown can't even get on the top Billboard. He can't get it. Oh, he can't do it without a feature. Oh, he can't even sell tours. Boy, nobody. I ain't see Usher's tour on TikTok. The only thing I saw on TikTok was his Las Vegas. I saw his Las Vegas residency. I see people eating cherries. Yep. That's all I see. I don't see him performing. No. I see people eating cherries.
Now listen, I will eat the humble pie, and I'm about to eat it, but I will say you see his tour
cherries being eaten. That's what I see.
You see Usher on TikTok.
Cherries.
Now
I hope he got to deal with cherries.
Now here's the thing. I will eat my humble pie if you eat your humble pie with Ariana Grande and Beyonce.
What about? And first things first, it's Ari.
Ari.
Get her name
Ariana.
Right. There you go.
So you were like, there ain't no way. James is in.
First things first. This is not an episode about Taylor Swift or Ariana.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, for the sheer fact of saying she's not going to win Cowboy Carter, you just instantly loved it because of Beyonce.
You did.
Album of the year.
Why are you getting off topic instead of?
I'm just saying. I'm not
eating
my humble pie.
You see the tap dancing going on right now, Tim?
I said I'll eat it, but let's eat it together.
No, we're not going to eat. This is your next episode when we talk about Beyonce and Taylor Swift. No. Hey, that's my time. But right now, this is your time. Go ahead, look at the camera, and tell the American people you're wrong.
Prep my pie. Prep the humble pie.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I would like to eat this pie and say I'm sorry for saying that Chris would not be. But he hasn't. For 3 albums, he was not on the
We ain't on that, boy. When's the last time Usher won a Grammy?
Last year. Oh, won a Grammy. Okay, he has.
Usher was in that category too. Usher was in that category for the Grammys and got belt. That boy got belt.
Don't talk about accolades.
What did he do? Who was in that category for the Grammy? Okay. For the album you thought was Coming Home?
Okay, how many Grammys has
Chris Brown sent him home?
How many Grammys has Chris got?
Belt.
How many Grammys has Chris
Belt. I don't care about none of that.
Chris
Belt.
Got 2. Usher got like 8.
Belt, boy.
Chris, you're doing your thing. Shout out to you.
Yeah. He is.
I'm glad to see that you have risen from the dead, because you were definitely dead. Now, can you be transparent and say he did have a drought?
No, he didn't have a drought.
You're okay. You can't keep it real. No, that's why you can't talk to me.
If nobody's playing you on their radio because they hate your guts, that's not a drought.
Donnie,
that's called that you're being blackballed.
He's had several hits on the
blackball.
Donnie, he's had several hits since.
Okay, offer his talent alone.
That you're not making any sense.
How's that not making sense? Tim,
He's
please
either
tell me.
blackballed
Is it
or
making
he's
sense?
blackballed.
Is he?
He's saying
He's
Donnie's
being blackballed.
saying he hasn't
Man
had a
could not
hit since.
perform on the what was the AMAs?
He's saying he hasn't had a hit
What-
since the whole
he
incident.
could-
He's had several hits
What are you
since
talking
then.
about? I'm not talking
You're
about
like,
that. You said
oh,
he's been on a drought. I'm saying he
said
wasn't on a drought.
He was on a drought.
No, he wasn't.
He went from that incident happening to consistently being on the Hot 100 to releasing 3 albums that never charted.
Are
What
you saying
albums are we talking
mainstream drought or just a good music
He
drought?
was not on the charts, Tim.
For what?
at
Go
all.
Crazy
Hot
was just
100.
it was just there in 2000.
Breezy did not chart. The album after
Call
that
Me
or
Every
before-
Day was charting.
Call me or hand me my phone.
Call Me Every Day was charting. No, you don't need it.
No, hand me my phone. Hand me my phone. Now
Yeah, see, he can't even
now-
go off of the dome.
now
That's
he wants
crazy.
you to release
Call
these
Me Every Day
albums.
wasn't on there.
Donnie, are you really fighting for 1 week?
Huh?
If
I
you
don't
fight
care.
for 1
I'm just
week-
saying it was on there.
If you fight for 1 week, okay, say in the camera it was on there for 1 week.
Hey, it was what it is.
Okay, he would never let me live if I said
and
Beyonce
then
was
what
on there
next?
for a
Then
week.
after that, Under the Influence charts.
Okay, here we go.
Under the Influence gets discovered.
Breezy, out of that whole album, nothing charted. Was Call Me Every Day on
No,
here?
you're wrong.
I'm
Psychic
seeing.
charted. Might have been 98.
No more for like 2
but it
weeks,
chart-
I think
hey,
it was at
but
the time.
tell the American people the correct information.
That's what it was. And then 11:11, nothing did either until randomly.
No, see,
A
that's,
little
that's the
song.
hating.
No.
Not 11:11, but Residuals, Grammy Award.
No,
winning
Residuals,
album.
I will say.
Grammy Award
Residuals is Chris
award-winning
Brown's
album.
first actual hit.
What
in a
about
while.
Under the Influence? Why are you hating?
Because I'm saying it's
He's
a
hating.
TikTok. Okay.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
Tim,
So
So Megan Thee Stallion, okay, then validate her because you always say she's nothing. She's a TikTok sensation.
no, Chris
validate her,
bro. Chris Brown
validate
did
her.
Under the he made the correct move and performing that song at his concert, and then people seen it and was like, "Whoa, that's a good song."
Don, you don't even know the history of that. It was from his performance
I
at that
already
dance
knew that.
crew. That's what happened
you
when
talking
he did that dance school where that girl danced around
Yeah,
him.
but
That's how that popped
no,
off.
it was. That's not how it popped up.
Yes,
That
it
came
is.
up
I was
after.
there. I
Bro,
witnessed it in the
No,
flesh.
it was he put it on the tour list, and then he was singing Under the Influence, and people were like, "Oh wow, that song is fire." And then that video surfaces.
You know that was TikTok original, which
just
I
suck
give
at it.
TikTok originals credit. You don't.
Bro, it's not a TikTok original. You're a hater.
So okay, so Meg Thee Stallion's a solidified.
No,
hit
Megan
maker.
Thee Stallion doesn't have.
You're a
any-
hater then.
Bro,
It
come
can't
on,
be
stop.
two things cannot be true.
You see how this man wants to throw in every other artist, but understanding the fact is what the facts are.
Chris Brown
is
had
a
Under the
Grammy
Influence.
award-winning artist for.
He's a
11,
two-time
11.
Grammy Award-winning artist. Usher's an 8.
Okay.
I think I'm underselling it. Hey Siri, how many Grammys does Usher have?
If Chris Brown was liked all 20 years of his career, he would be there too.
8.
He would be there too.
He only has 8 Grammys.
Yeah, that's a little light.
Man,
I guess how
Not
many
as
albums sell.
Not as good as we think he is. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love Usher. I'm not gonna do that.
No,
to him.
but he is doing his thing, and I am lit. You're seeing him in stadium.
yeah,
Seeing him in stadium in Vegas.
Vegas.
So
I'm flying out for that.
we'll report back.
I'm just saying a stadium tour is crazy.
Thank you.
That's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
I understand all the other stuff, but
Kendrick Lamar can't even
Anyone-
sell out. SZA and Kendrick
anyone who
Lamar
can
can't
do
sell out the stadium.
anyone who can do
I
a
need you to show
stadium
me what
tour
selling out
is crazy.
'cause I'm confused.
I'll sell you. I'll
Okay.
show you.
But yeah, I mean, the thing is, Chris is a performer. That's just that. He's just a performer. There's that.
Yeah,
You also, here's the thing that gets misconstrued.
he's a hater.
Chris
doesn't-
Brown is my favorite male artist.
He's lying.
So,
I've never
like, that's
seen
it.
anybody fight so hard
Like-
to discredit their favorite
like-
artist.
like-
Beyonce
like-
is his most favorite artist. Let me say her head.
Do you
is-
know what
her,
Mel
her
means?
weave was a little off, and he
Because
gonna snap.
Beyonce's perfect. I can't help it. I can't help that. Chris is not.
Relax. She ain't perfect. Relax.
Beyonce is perfect.
Some of her songs leave.
She
more
said,
to be
I woke up
desired.
like this, and she meant it.
The Grammys her husband paid for. Yeah, go crazy in the chat. No, just gonna incite a war here.
Oh yeah.
Incite
Bees
the
in
war.
the chat. Bees
I don't.
in the chat.
I don't believe any of that, but I know that there's some haters that gonna
I
run
just
with
want
it.
to address that now. I want to address that. Why do you think that Jay-Z bought Beyonce's Grammys? He did.
He did.
Were they?
What are you talking about?
Did
No,
they
I'm kidding.
just?
I'm just gaslighting.
Did they just? Did he just get rich yesterday? I'm confused. Or was he? Has he and
He's
Beyonce
been a billionaire.
Been
Like,
a billionaire? Like I don't get it. Like,
he didn't pay for it. His influence, when he made Influence and sent, he sent the Beehive after the Grammys. He did do that. That happened.
Yeah.
But the Beehive, do you think that the Beehive hasn't been on the Grammys next since 2002?
Yeah, but sometimes in this social media TikTok age, when you bring it up again, it counts 10 times more than it did back before TikTok blew up. You can make any
I remember it was going
movement-
crazy on social media.
You can
when
make
Adele
any
won.
movement go crazier than it's ever have in the history of this world since TikTok has been a thing.
True.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway,
But it's dumb. It's ludicrous to
Yeah,
think
it's
that
stupid.
anything was ever bought.
But that's a moot point because she deserved it anyway. So
yeah.
who cares?
Goodbye.
And I'm like, do you think like there's other billionaires who wouldn't pay for their artist to win, or companies that would just pay for their artist to win? Are you dumb?
in the talent list department,
Like,
you're telling me the talent
you don't
lacking
think
department
that-
wouldn't
yeah.
have paid for it?
James, Chris Brown would buy one every year if he had
Yeah.
it. Like, what are we talking about?
You think he can't buy it more than Coco Jones that he's going against? You're crazy. So
Lucky
that's how
day.
He won. That's
Like,
how he won.
Michael Glassberg. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, come on, bro.
Be for
Like,
real.
let's be real, guys.
Be for real. But yeah, sound off in the comments. Why do you guys think that we still can't get over the Chris Brown stuff? And do you think that we are over the Chris Brown stuff? Or
If you're
like,
not over it, get a hobby.
Yeah.
Honestly.
and we don't stand by at all probably everything that he does, to be honest. We don't stand by
I just love his
any
music.
of
I
it.
think he's an awesome
Yeah.
artist. I don't co-sign
Like,
anything other than that.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing. But on that note,
I'm Donnie.
and I'm James, and this was another episode of
The DJ's Take.
Catch me outside.
Salty. Tell Usher to get his bricks.
Man, you know who's snapping? I'm sorry. It's